Hi, my name is Sandra Paoli and I am a linguist working in the Faculty of Linguistics, Philology and Phonetics at the University of Oxford. As well as linguistics in general, which is the study of language in its many different aspects, my specific interest is in Romance linguistics. In a podcast within the big question of does it matter who you love, you would be justified in thinking that Romance linguistics is about the study of language used in romantic relationships. Indeed, the two meanings of romance are related, but let's set the record straight. Romance linguistics, I'm afraid, has absolutely nothing to do with romantic language. The word romance entered the English language from French, but ultimately it derives from the Latin words Romanicus, meaning Roman, to do with Rome, and Romaniche, which later became Romanche and then Romance, meaning in a Roman way. In the Middle Ages, the term roman in French was used to refer to the vernacular. In other words, the spoken language that people used in everyday life and which contrasted with the written and formal language that was still Latin at that time. The vernacular was in fact what classical Latin had become in the mouths of all the peoples whose lands had been conquered during the expansion of the Roman Empire. These people had been learning Latin as a foreign language, and as you can imagine, the way they spoke it was very different from the Latin spoken by the Romans in Rome. This vernacular came to be used to write narratives about the adventures of knights, both in war and love, and about values such as courage, honor, love, friendship, and service. The term romance came to indicate such works, and because love and love affairs featured a lot in them, the meaning of the word was finally extended to also include a love affair, a romantic relationship. Today we refer to the Romance languages as those languages that developed from Latin, for example French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, but also the lesser known ones like Catalan, Galician, Occitan and Provençal. And Romance linguistics is a discipline that studies the structure and history of the Romance languages. So, now that we've cleared that up, let's go back to our theme. Does it matter who you love? And talk about romance in romance. How do you go about finding out how to say a phrase in a foreign language? Nowadays, many people choose to use a search engine on their electronic device. So let's try two Romance languages and ask how do you say I love you in Italian and Portuguese. The answer for Portuguese is amo-te, and for Italian is ti amo. As it turns out, both Italian and Portuguese have a number of ways of declaring one's love and use more than the English phrase I love you. So you really need to understand the subtleties of the meanings of the various expressions in order to make sure that you use the right ones with the right people at the right time. Portuguese amo-te expresses the kind of romantic love you have for your lover. It conveys high intensity, passion, strong physical attraction. It's very dramatic and is heard most of all in films and soap operas on TV. The Brazilian Portuguese equivalent, te amo or eu amo você, is very similar in meaning but is actually used more liberally in everyday life. A similar situation is also found in Italian. Ti amo is used for the romantic type of love and it expresses intensity, passion and physical attraction. However, it can also be used to describe one's feelings towards their family when talking to others and to express a strong passion for an activity or thing such as food. So you would say amo la mia famiglia, I love my family, and also amo la mozzarella, I love mozzarella cheese. The other phrase used to declare one's love in Italian is ti voglio bene, literally, I want good for you, and it expresses affection and love. It's used with family, friends and lovers, but it lacks the intensity and physical passion that ti amo conveys. Another beautiful declaration of love and admiration is adoro-te in European Portuguese and eu adoro você in Brazilian Portuguese, both meaning I adore you. In Italian you can also use the phrase ho perso la testa per te, literally, I've lost my head for you, meaning that you are crazily in love with someone to the point of having lost your mind. And similarly, sono pazzo di te, or if you're a girl, sono pazza di te, meaning I'm crazy about you. In southern Italy, this would be esco pazzo per te, or esco pazza per te if you're a girl, literally meaning I come out crazy for you. I'm totally smitten with you. An interesting fact that an online translator wouldn't give you is that Portuguese speakers often prefer to use terms of endearment to express their feelings rather than go for a full-blown direct declaration of love. Addressing your loved ones as querido or querida, or meu amorzinho or mea amorzinha, literally darling, dear, or my little love, is very common, both for family and lovers alike, and it expresses your affection towards them. Another common word in Portuguese is fofo, used for both people and pets. It means gentle, soft, cute, and it conveys affection. Fofinho is very similar, with an amplified meaning of gentleness, cuteness, and fuzziness. And you can also add inho or inha to people's names as well as pets. So, for example, Joana would be Joaninha, José would be Zujinho, and you would express the fact that you think they're cute and that you like them. In Italian, it is also common to use endearing terms for your loved ones, such as biscottino, little biscuit, tesorino, little treasure, passerotto, little bird, orsacchiotto, teddy bear, formaggino, little cheese, and so on. And they indicate intimacy between the two people and really are a matter of personal taste or distaste. So, to conclude, we've cleared up what Romance languages are, and we've talked about a number of phrases that are used to express love in two Romance languages, Italian and Portuguese, and the subtle differences between them. One of the most effective ways to detect these is to engage with the language where it is spoken, interacting with native speakers and getting a real sense of their culture, habits, and outlook on life. Online translation tools are a helpful starting point, but the information they provide needs to be put into context and carefully checked with native fluent speakers who have a confident grasp of the language.